Welcome back to another exciting video. And what we're talking about today is different chord voicings. So you can, for the love of God, once and for all, quit playing this. So, we were sitting at band practice. We were trying out a new drummer. Well, not, squeaky chair. I think I'm gonna give this chair to my bass player. Yeah, I'm giving this chair to my bass player. So anyway, we're not trying out a new drummer. Let me rephrase that. We've got a new drummer. We picked up a new drummer. And so we're running him through the paces, giving him, sending him through the music, running him through the gamut to see how this guy's gonna cop out. He's a pretty good drummer. And it looks like it's gonna work out pretty good. So we actually got together. We've had a couple of band practices per se, nothing too formal. But we finally got together last night. We set up in this warehouse. It was really cool, and I thought, man, I need to shoot a video in this thing. It's a warehouse where they do steel fabrication. And I thought this would be a great place for a video. And so we were running over some of the music, and they're like, well, what about Home Sweet Home? Because that's a song we close our show out with a lot of times. Either that or Mental Health by Quiet Riot. And I was like, well, they're like, did you bring your keys? And I said, no, I did not bring my keys, but I have a guitar. Well, you can't play it on a guitar. Well, yeah, I can. Well, okay, then let's see what you can do. And the first thing I thought is, okay, first off, that kind of pisses me off a little bit. Do they think that I'm such a shab musician that I can't pull this off on a guitar? How dare they? I would have smited them down with my guitar goddumn, D-O-M, at that point. But I didn't want to lose my bandmates. So I set the smiting aside. And the first thing I thought is, well, thank God I understand theory, and I didn't pay $50 for a guitar course to teach me how to play guitar to where I don't have to learn theory. Because if I didn't understand theory, there's no way in hell I would have been able to translate this to this. But since I do have a knowledge of theory, and if you've seen my videos, you know how much of a burn my ass that is about learning theory. I said, well, hell, we'll just play it. It's not a big deal, guys. So I fired up the trusty guitar and did this. Oh, this thing's gonna drive my ass crazy. Let's see if we can get through the video without me tossing it out the window. And we did the song. So, when I was doing that, after we got through playing, I got to thinking, how many people that play a guitar would not have known or understood it well enough to translate that over to a guitar at a moment's notice? And I bet 90%. Because I know so many guitar players that play guitar, but they just don't understand theory. They've never taken the time. They can do this shit all day long. And that's boring as hell. Let's leave that boring stuff to our acoustic guitar player. Or if you're lucky enough to be in a band that doesn't have one like I am, then that's even better. And let us do the cooler stuff. Let us do all the different voicings and everything. So while we were doing that, and I started thinking, well, thank God I understand theory, but how many people would not know how to do that? And I thought, well, I'm going to do a video on this, because if those people who watch my videos, if they don't understand how to do it, well, they're going to understand how to do it when we're done. Now, if you have not seen the video, my video on intervals, for the love of God, watch that video. Because if you do not understand intervals, you're never going to be a guitar player. You're never going to be a musician. A key element of learning this or this is learning the theory. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. You just can't arbitrarily start playing crap. Because even people who don't know how to read music, They understand the theory of what they're doing. They understand the intervals. And if it comes down to actually reading the notes of music or learning intervals, I would say learning intervals is more important because intervals is going to guide you through anything in this world. If you're playing a C major, what are you playing? Well, you're playing a root third and fifth intervals of the C major scale. Well, if you wanted to play a C major 7, what would you do? Because you have to add the 7th interval onto the top of that note. So learning intervals is a critical part of learning music. And it's not paying $50. By the way, I found that video, that ad, and I've got to do a video on it. I can't let this slide. You don't even have to know theory. You learn this simple pattern, and it tells you everything you need to know about the guitar. And you know how I feel about that already. So, more on that one coming up. But while we were playing that, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna do a video on this because so many people do get trapped in that box, that one little box, and they have such a hard time getting out of it. And especially people, especially us guitar players, because let's be honest, and I've done it myself, you get trapped in the pentatonic box and you just kind of get stuck there, and you have to start working your way out of this. You got to start thinking outside that box. And what a better place to do that than with chords. Because think about it, if you're playing a song, the song is 5 minutes long. How long is your guitar solo? 15, 20 seconds? Maybe 30 seconds? The rest of it is chords that you're playing if you're the only guitar player in the band. So you could sit here and just play a bunch of boring shit. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it has its place, do not get me wrong. You literally can't, it wouldn't sound right playing Wanted Dead or Alive, so you really couldn't play that anywhere else but that. But if you do have an acoustic guitar player, or you got a bass player that just loves to get excessively busy, doing this just may make your composition a little muddier than it needs to be. So then we play the chords in different places to give us different timbres and to give us a different sound with inversions and so on and so on. So when we were doing that, I was playing C right here. C. And the good thing about playing C in this position is it stacks like a piano, root, third, and fifth. Root, third, fifth. So it makes it very, very easy to understand what you're doing. That would be the equivalent of playing the same thing. Root, third, and fifth. We're just playing it up here to give us a whole different sound, a different vibe, if you will. So when I was playing that song, and this is not a lesson on Home Sweet Home, although I should probably do a lesson on Home Sweet Home now that I'm doing this. But on Home Sweet Home, they're playing in C, the key of C, and it's in the root position. And what's going on is when they're playing, the root is what's moving down until it resolves back over to an F major chord. And that's very easy to translate here because my root is on top. Now I just got to walk it down to the F. And it's all right here. So it worked out very well. So let's take a look at this. Because we're going to quit playing C's here. And we're going to start playing C's in other places on the guitar. So if we come here, root, third, fifth, and what I've got here, on the 4th string, 10th fret, 3rd string, 9th fret, 2nd string, 8th fret, root, 3rd, 5th. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk this down. Like I said, this is not a Home Sweet Home video, but I thought this is a perfect thing to make people understand what's going on here and what you can do with much fewer notes. So we have our C major. We move the 4th string down from the 10th to the 9th. Now we have a C major 7. We move on the 4th string from the 9th to the 8th. Now we have a C7. And then we can just bounce up to this F. So again, C major, C major 7, C7. And then to our F. But if you notice, we're not playing an F here. We're not doing the bar chord. More on that in a second. We're playing the F here. Now the reason I'm playing it this way is because it just so happens that when I'm playing Home Sweet Home, the F chord I'm playing on the piano just happens to be the second inversion of the F chord, which also just happens to be the second inversion of the F chord right there. So I just grab this, the heavier bass note, put the root on the bottom. But if I was playing it exactly like the song would be on the piano, I would just play this, because that is an inversion of the F chord. So we have a C that we can play like this, and we have an F that we can play like this. And what we've got here, here's our root, here's our third, here's our fifth. So we have fifth, root, third. That is called an inversion. To where if we're playing C in this position, we have root, third, fifth. That's in root position. And again, if you have not seen my video on intervals, for the love of God, watch it. Intervals are critical in understanding what is going on right here. So, back to the F chord. So we're playing an F major. And here we have an F major. Okay, well we have our F right here. Well, check this out. F major. And I'm barring the second, third, and fourth string at the 10th fret, F major. We're going to move the third string down to the 9th fret. Now we have F major 7. Now let's move it down to the 8th fret. Now we have F7. So you've just learned two new positions. Instead of playing a C and an F, you can play a C and an F. Yep, wrong one. And an F. But these two positions work pretty much anywhere you want to take them. Well, how did we get the C here? Well, if you understand theory and you know the major scale, this is an F. This is a derivative of this. And what we're doing is we're eliminating this, the 6th string, and the 5th string, and the 1st string. We're just playing what's in the middle. So we have an F. Major scale, we followed up, it's a whole step to a G. That's a G major. Take it up to an A major. Take it up to a B major. Now we're up a half step, C major. Well, and the same thing works on this F. Because if we take it down here and we play an A, and this is an A major, and there again, we're just going to eliminate the 5th and the 1st string. A, take it up a whole step to B, half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F. Now we're playing our F, and of course we can just throw this root chord on the bottom of it if we want, this root note. So we have our F. All right, so let's say we don't want to play it here though. Well, we can play it through an inversion. Now it's going to be a little different because the thing about playing that song the way it was written is they have the 5th on top. They have that leading tone sitting on top, and the root is the note that's moving through the bottom. Well, let's, for the sake of argument, we can play a C right here. And what I've got is I've got on the 12th fret, 1st string 12th fret, 2nd string 13th fret, 3rd string 12th fret. That is also a C major, but it is an inversion of a C major. Because now we have our 3rd on the bottom. That's now going to be our leading tones. It's the top tone. And I'm at the bottom of the strings. We have our root. We have our 5th. Now it's going to sound a little different because we don't have the leading tone. But chances are, most people are not going to know because all they're going to hear is that root moving down through the progression. So all we're doing is we have our C with this being our root. Now we're moving this down a half step. Now we got a C major 7. We're moving it down a half step again. Now we're moving it from 13 to 12 to 11, and now we have a C7. And now we're playing our F here. So now we just introduced another new chord shape. This is an F major 7. And if you look at the notes of this, we have our F. So we have our root, our third, and our fifth. So this is back in root position. So we have an F, which we can move to anywhere we want to move it to on the guitar, just by following the major scale. So if we take this F, we move it up a full step, now we're at a G. Move it up another full step, now we're at an A. Move it up another full step, we're at a B. And we take it up a half step, we're back at a C. All C's. And it works that way for every single chord. Now, when you learn these things, it opens up a world of music for you. A world of music. Because first off, you're not going to be stuck playing the same old boring crap that you've always played. And also, it's going to kind of help you understand when you're soloing a little more. If you're playing a song in C major, let's just take C major, and it comes time to solo, and you know all these different chord voicings, well, hey, that opens up a whole lot of doors now, doesn't it? So learning all these different chord positions is also going to give you a better understanding of where to solo. Because, like I said, let's say we're going to do all of our soloing in the C major scale. All we do is we find the root. If we're playing this, we have our root here. If we're playing, but we want to play off this one, all those are going to be in. If we're playing from here, all those are going to be in. If we're playing from here, so it's also going to open up a whole ton of worlds and places to solo, learning all these different voices. You don't have to play here. Play here. Play here. Play here. They're all exactly the same. And it works that way for every single chord. So the point of this whole thing is A, learn your triads, because your triads are it's going to open up a whole different world for you when you're playing. Because case in point, I wrote this one song and it goes, and I wanted to build the entire song around triads, around that simple strumming pattern. And listen to it one more time. It's actually the pattern, the progression is, well, dare I say, amazing. And I wanted to build the entire song around those triads. So, and that's the beauty of triads, because there's so many things you can do with good triads. Case in point, don't mind the squeaking. all triads, all chords, chords in different positions, chords using inversions. So it's very important to learn these things. And like I said, if you take the simple patterns, start with A and work your way up to the chord you need to find. And it works this way for all chords. The A position, the D position, the F position. Pick one. Follow your scale up to the top. Learn the inversions. And it's going to open a million doors for your chord voicings, how you play the song actually. It's going to make you a better writer because you're going to get out of the box of just the constant cowboy chords. And it's going to open soloing doors for you because you're going to start to understand all these different notes that are actually in the key that you may not have thought of before. Because just because the C major, let me go back to a clean channel. So just because the clean channel, So just because your C major is here, that's not where you have to play your C major scale. You can play it here. You can play it anywhere you have a C. So we're going to wrap it up right there. Please learn the chord voicings because I promise you it's going to give you many more options when you're playing music, when you're writing music especially. Having all these different chord voicings is going to help you writing because new chord voicings are going to spark off new ideas that you may not have thought about by playing the same old boring crap all the time. And it's going to open up doors for your guitar soloing. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to help support the page, you can jump over to my Patreon page. My wife has been digging through swag. We are working on some stuff. She's actually sketching me some stuff out that we're going to be doing. It's still going to take a little bit of time because we still got a lot of work between A and D to get there. We got to go through B and C, of course, to get to the end point. My Instagram page, you can check that out. I'm slowly putting stuff up on there. But again, please subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or comments, leave it down in the comment section below. I will get back to you as soon as possible. And no matter what instrument you're playing, practice, practice, practice. And this lesson right here is a very good reason why you must learn theory. And again, if you have not watched my video on intervals, jump back and watch it. And like the great Sammy Hagar says, if you miss the beat, you lose the rhythm and nothing falls into place. Work on those chords, work on that soloing, and until the next video, rock on.